Listen carefully. Wherever you are hearing my voice right now, in a city filled with light, or in a village where a single lamp still burns through the night, I ask you to pause for a moment. A new year has arrived, and the world is moving forward at incredible speed, as if motion itself could heal what is broken. But speed does not heal wounds, noise does not restore trust, and progress without purpose only leaves people more exhausted. Only truth can heal. Only courage can repair what fear has damaged. And only love, real love, disciplined and brave, can hold a fractured world together. My name is Ibrahim Traoré. I lead Burkina Faso, a country whose name means the land of upright people. I speak regularly with presidents and generals, but tonight I am not speaking to power. I am speaking to mothers and fathers, to students and workers, to people of faith, and to those who are still searching. To anyone who feels a quiet ache in their chest when they watch suffering unfold and wonder, is this all life will be? This will not be a perfect speech. It will be an honest one, because this year will not be won by slogans. It will be shaped by decisions made when no one is watching. If you stay with me, I want to share what hardship has taught me, what leadership has forced me to confront, and what prayer has shown me in silence. I believe the world stands at a crossroads, not between nations, but between habits, not between ideologies, but between values. Look around. We have more technology than any generation before us, yet we struggle more than ever to understand one another. We have more information, yet less trust. We have more wealth concentrated in fewer hands than at any point in history, yet children still go to sleep hungry. We have learned how to reach the moon, but we have not learned how to cross the street without suspicion. The world is tired, it is angry, it is divided, and many people are quietly giving up. Not loudly, not dramatically, but internally. This is not a crisis of intelligence. It is a crisis of meaning. And the new year is asking us a simple question. Will we repeat what has failed us, or will we choose a different path? The question before us is not complicated. The world does not need another dramatic year. It needs an honest one. So let me offer 3 truths, not as slogans, but as foundations. Truth. 1. The world does not need more noise. It needs more courage. We are surrounded by voices, opinions, outrage, commentary that never rests. But courage is quiet. Courage is choosing what is right when applause is absent. Courage is telling the truth when silence would be safer. Too often we confuse volume with strength. But history has never been changed by those who shouted the loudest. It has been changed by those who stood firm when standing was costly. Truth 2. The world does not need more consumers. It needs more builders. We are trained to scroll, to buy, to replace. Rarely are we taught to repair, to grow, to create. A society that only consumes eventually consumes itself. Builders think differently. They plant where others extract. They teach where others exploit. They invest in people, not just outcomes. A builder asks, what will remain after I am gone? Truth 3. The world does not need more hatred disguised as justice. It needs discipline, repentance, and a love strong enough to confront evil without becoming it. Anger can expose injustice, but it cannot sustain righteousness. Without discipline, anger corrodes the soul. Without repentance, power becomes blind. Justice without humility becomes cruelty, and cruelty always returns to its source. These truths became real to me not in a conference room, but early one morning before the sun rose. I was traveling with a small team. No cameras, no speeches, just a quiet visit. We stopped near a community that had been displaced. The air was cold, the ground was still, the kind of stillness that follows too much loss. A woman approached me holding a child asleep on her shoulder. She did not ask for a slogan. She did not ask for a promise. She asked for safety. She said, "Mr. President, I do not need words. I need my son to grow up without fear." I stood there, unable to rush past the weight of that sentence. In that moment, leadership stopped being abstract. I remembered my own childhood, the way adults spoke about the future as if it belonged to someone else, the way limits were explained as destiny, and I realized something difficult but necessary. The world is full of people who are tired of being managed. They want to be protected, respected, and given a chance to build. That mother did not need me to be admired. She needed me to be faithful. On the drive back, I asked myself the same question I ask every new year. If my life ended this year, would I be proud of how I used it? Would I have served truth or comfort, purpose or reputation? That question is not only for presidents. It belongs to every person alive. Because time does not negotiate, and the new year does not accept excuses. It reveals what we truly worship. In my country, we have a saying, an elder does not speak to decorate the air. He speaks to keep a child from falling into the fire. When I was young, there were elders in my life who did not raise their voices. They did not have microphones. They did not seek attention. But when they spoke, I listened. Their eyes carried a seriousness that straightened your back. Not fear, responsibility. They taught me discipline before they taught me ambition. They taught me respect before they taught me authority. And they taught me something the modern world often forgets. Dignity is not given by the world. It is guarded by the soul. One elder once told me, if you want to understand the future, look closely at the habits of the present. At the time, I did not fully understand those words. Now I do. When a society normalizes dishonesty, it becomes fragile. When shortcuts replace integrity, trust collapses. When greed is celebrated, the people quietly pay the price. Habits are never small. Habits form character. Character shapes institutions, and institutions write history. This is why this message is both a warning and a hope. Because what is broken in our world did not appear overnight, and what will heal it will not arrive overnight either. If you are still listening, you are not here by accident. Something in you is tired of pretending that this is normal. Something in you wants a better world, not in theory, but in practice. And what I am about to say may make you uncomfortable. That is not a problem. Comfort is not the goal. Freedom is. The world is not only divided by mistakes. It is divided by systems. Systems that profit from fear. Systems that turn human beings into data points. Systems that reduce children to numbers on reports. Systems that teach ordinary people to argue with one another while decisions are made quietly, behind closed doors. I have seen these systems up close. I have sat in rooms where agreements were expected, not questioned. I have read documents written in polite language that carried heavy consequences. I have watched reactions change the moment obedience was not guaranteed. And I learned a lesson every nation and every individual must eventually learn. If you do not control your narrative, someone else will write it for you. If you do not control your attention, someone else will sell it. If you do not control your values, someone else will trade them. This is true for countries, and it is true for people. A new year is not only a celebration, it is a mirror. It shows you what has been shaping you, what you have accepted, what you have repeated, and who you are becoming, and you cannot change what you refuse to name. In Burkina Faso, we are learning to name things honestly. We name the pain of insecurity. We name the wounds of corruption. We name the hunger for dignity and sovereignty, and we name the strength of our people. We do not pretend the road is easy. We do not pretend we will never stumble. But we have decided on something important. Our children will not inherit silence. They will inherit effort. Step by step, even when the steps are difficult, we choose action over denial and responsibility over excuses. I want the world to hear this, not because I believe Africa is superior, but because Africa remembers something the world often forgets. We remember that community is wealth. We remember that elders matter. We remember that faith is not a hobby. When you have less, you learn to rely on what cannot be seen. You learn to pray because you must. You learn to share because survival depends on it. These are not romantic ideas. They are practical lessons learned through endurance. A society does not collapse because it lacks resources. It collapses when it loses trust. When people stop believing their efforts matter. When young men see no future and young women see no protection. This is why rebuilding is never only about roads or buildings. It is about restoring meaning. At the beginning of every year, people make resolutions. They promise to work harder, to eat better, to save money, to improve their health. These are good goals, but this year requires a deeper resolution. Decide that you will be truthful, even when truth costs you. Decide that you will be disciplined, even when no one applauds. Decide that you will forgive, not because others deserve it, but because bitterness is a prison. Decide that you will seek what is right before what is easy. Leadership, in a nation or in a home is revealed in private. It is shaped by habits no one tweets about, by restraint when anger would feel justified, by consistency when motivation disappears. I have learned this in difficult hours. There were nights when the phone rang before dawn, carrying news that could have broken me. In those moments, titles meant nothing. Only character remained. Those hours taught me that strength is not the absence of fear. It is the discipline to stand even when fear is present. The storms of this world are growing stronger, and shallow roots do not survive strong winds. What you build this year must go deeper than appearances. It must be anchored in values that hold when pressure comes, because a future without foundation is only a delay before collapse. A new year without values is only a new calendar. I have learned that leadership without reflection becomes pride, and pride, if left unchecked, becomes blindness. This year, I am choosing depth over display, direction over noise. In the hardest moments of leadership, I learned something simple and humbling. Strength is sustained in private, not in public. When pressure rises, many people reach for distraction. Others reach for anger, but neither builds endurance. Endurance is built when a person learns to be still, to examine their heart, and to align their actions with what they claim to believe. This is true whether you lead a country, a family, or simply yourself. If you are a person of faith, this year is not a time for sleepwalking. It is not a time to trade conviction for comfort or prayer for constant opinion. Communities of faith were not born in convenience. They were formed in discipline, humility, and service. Power does not come from volume. It comes from integrity. And integrity begins with returning to what matters most: truth spoken gently, correction accepted humbly, and love practiced consistently. If you are not a person of faith, I still speak to you. You may not share my beliefs, but you share my humanity. You feel the same exhaustion when cruelty is rewarded and dishonesty is normalized. This year, choose conscience, choose discipline, choose service. Build something that will outlive applause. If you do not know where to begin, begin small. Help one person, teach one skill, tell the truth in a room where silence would be easier. Small acts are not small when they multiply. A year is not built in grand gestures. It is built in repeated decisions. I believe deeply that one honest person can change the atmosphere of a room. One disciplined family can change a neighborhood. One committed community can change a nation. This is not idealism. It is history. Before laws change, habits change. Before systems shift, people shift. And that work begins quietly. In the next 24 hours, ask yourself one honest question. What is shaping me right now? What voices do you feed? What habits do you repeat? What anger do you rehearse? Then choose one practice that strengthens you rather than drains you. In the next 30 days, do not walk alone. Find people who make you better, not louder. A community that builds, not one that performs. Isolation weakens judgment. Accountability strengthens character. This is how renewal begins. Not with declarations, but with alignment. A new year does not respect speeches. It respects work. In my country, mothers do not eat promises. Children do not sleep under slogans. They sleep under roofs, or under the open sky. So let me speak plainly about what commitment means. Our first commitment is protection. Not protection built only on force, but protection rooted in trust. Fear grows where trust collapses, where communities feel abandoned, where young people believe they have no future. This year, our efforts will focus on restoring safety village by village, strengthening local cooperation, and supporting families who have been displaced. Security is not only about what we defend against. It is about what we build. A village with a school and a clinic is harder to break than a village left alone. We will honor those who serve on the front lines, and we will honor those who feed the nation, because both carry responsibility for the future. Our second commitment is dignity through work. No nation can pray for freedom while accepting arrangements that quietly take its future. This year, we will continue to strengthen local capacity, encourage fair production, and support agriculture, small businesses, and skills training. A hungry nation is easily controlled. A producing nation stands upright. Dignity grows when people can provide for their families through honest labor. Transparency matters because corruption is not abstract. It steals time. It steals trust. It steals hope from the next generation. Real sovereignty is not isolation. It is the ability to choose partnerships with clarity and self-respect. Our third commitment is to the young. If a nation loses its youth, it loses more than a generation. It loses direction. This year, we will invest in education, training, and opportunity, not as charity, but as strategy. We will support teachers, expand paths for apprenticeships, and recognize talent wherever it appears. To young people listening, whether here or abroad, hear this clearly. Your life is not meant only for survival. You were born to build. Learn skills that cannot be taken from you. Practice discipline even when it feels slow. Read widely. Think critically. Contribute faithfully. And if you are part of the diaspora, remember this. Success is most powerful when it becomes a bridge. Return when you can. Teach when you are able. Invest with patience. Come not as a visitor, but as family. Progress does not come from romantic images or resentment. It comes from consistency. And consistency requires humility. These commitments are not promises of ease. They are commitments to responsibility. The road ahead will demand patience, honesty, and endurance. But meaningful work has always required these things. I want to speak now beyond borders. To those watching from other nations, from different cultures, languages, and histories, hear this clearly. Do not look at Africa as a charity project. Do not look at it as a battlefield for competition. Look at it as a partner with dignity. A strong Africa does not threaten the world. A strong Africa stabilizes the world. It feeds markets, creates opportunity, and expands shared prosperity. If you seek peace, choose fairness. If you seek partnership, choose honesty. If you seek influence, earn it through service, not pressure. This invitation is also for the diaspora. If your roots trace back to this continent, your success can become more than a personal achievement. It can become a bridge. Come learn with us. Build with us. Pray with us if you are a person of faith. And walk with humility, because family carries responsibility. But I must also offer a warning. This year, many voices will try to buy your anger. They will hand you an enemy so you do not notice the system. They will encourage division so accountability disappears. They will tell you to hate your neighbor so you never challenge what truly benefits from your distraction. Do not accept that trade. Discipline your mind. Ask a simple question when outrage rises. Who benefits from this division? Division has been used in every society. Community against community, belief against belief, identity against identity. The antidote is not silence. It is truth, spoken with humility. Defend your convictions, but do not confuse opinion with moral authority. Speak firmly, but listen carefully. What you consume will shape what you become. What you rehearse will shape how you respond, and what you tolerate will shape your future. Choose your diet of information, of habits, of voices, and you choose your direction. Now, let me leave you with a challenge. In the next 24 hours, do an honest inventory. Ask yourself, what has been shaping me? What am I repeating without reflection? Who am I becoming? Write down 3 lies you have believed about yourself and replace them with 3 truths you will live by. Remove 1 habit that drains you. Step away from 1 voice that profits from your anxiety. Do 1 quiet act of service with your own hands. In the next 30 days, build a rhythm. Set a fixed time for reflection or prayer. Read something that strengthens your thinking. Save something small, consistently. Learn 1 practical skill. Join a community that holds you accountable. If you're young, seek a mentor. If you are older, become one. If you lead, surround yourself with people who tell you the truth. And when you fail, because you will, do not quit. Begin again. Persistence shapes character, and character shapes destiny. Finally, choose reconciliation. Do not carry unresolved bitterness into a new year like a hidden weight. Make the call, write the message. Apologize where you must. Set boundaries where you must. But do not let resentment become your identity. A future cannot be built by a heart that only looks backward. This year is not a promise. It is a decision. And decisions, repeated daily, shape nations and lives alike. From Ouagadougou, I send you respect and hope. May your steps be guided by wisdom. May your families be protected. May your hands be strengthened to do good work. And when this year ends, may we be able to say, quietly, honestly, we did not waste our time. We will meet again.